Just 9 weeks after it began, the final 4 teams gather in Washington, D.C. to make their final presentations to the Urban Land Institute jury.
Good morning to all of you. As I was coming over this morning, I thought it really is sort of the ULI version of the Oscars. But then I think maybe it's more appropriate to say that it's the ULI version of the Final Four. It is a very significant moment in the life of ULI. I suspect it's a significant moment in the lives of those of you who are competitors. And it certainly is a significant moment in the life of Jerry Hines. And I'd just ask you to stand, so let's give Jerry a real round of applause. There's a real advantage to being last, isn't there? Number 1.
We're from the University of Southern California.
Who's 2?
Harvard University, private school.
And then University of Pennsylvania.
MIT will be number 4.
The deal is we'll get started here. We'll break, once the presentations are concluded, we'll break for lunch. That's anticipated to be at about 1 o'clock. The jury will then adjourn to deliberate, and then we'll come back here at 2 o'clock to hear the results.
From the phase 1, we really actually continuing Laflame's master plan that extending the South Capitol Street to the waterfront. And then while we're also adopting city's initiative plans, emphasizing on Scheme 3, which has the promenade along one side of streets. And throughout the developments, we're creating a linear park that hosts civic, social, and natural characters.
This project, as a public-private partnership, has tremendous potential for economic success. We are leveraging on a considerable public investment of $50 million, which we envision will greatly contribute to a high-quality neighborhood that in turn will improve property values and attract further investment.
What we tried to do with our architecture was create a capital city feel as well as a community feel simultaneously. So how did we do that? We did it in a couple of different ways. The first way we did it was a series of facade conditions. The number 1 facade condition is illustrated here. This would be the condition along the street, along the Capitol Promenade. It has a more civic feel, very formal. Whereas our internal facade, which faces the courtyards that we've created, is much more relaxed, much more informal. We used 100% of the space on our land. There's not one part of it that has a dark alley or unfulfilling leftover spot of land. There's always eyes on the street. People are always watching the street, watching the courtyard, so that creates a social yet secure environment for all the residents that live there.
I'm feeling very relaxed, you know? I mean, you're gonna go last, so just relax a bit. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty relaxed.
I'm nervous as a wreck. I'm about to fall apart here, so I just don't know what's going to happen out there.
Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to get this off my chest. I want to tell them all about it and finish it.
This represents the entire presentation. So this is enough, then we're good.
Imagine yourself coming over Anacostia River, going up this grand boulevard. You see the Capitol up to the north. It's a beautiful vision. It's a long-term vision. And that's what we want to really respond to with City Beautiful. City Real is a much more shorter-term vision for revitalization and strategy for economic development in the near southeast area. This is the vibrant, emerging commercial, economic, and residential corridor along N Street. And we want to sort of be at that nexus of that City Beautiful long-term vision, but also at that short-term strategy for revitalization. At that nexus, we also want to propose what we're calling City Creative. And when we found out that DC was one of the top 10 cities for creative people, and this is based on indices of diversity, innovation, technology, and artistic expression, we're like, wow, this is a great opportunity for us.
We identified several structures on the site that we felt were worth saving and that were very, very critical to tying in what Omar mentioned as the creative cachet, or the cachet that currently exists on the site. So one of these is the WMATA building. And we plan to, in the first phase, we plan to readapt the WMATA building into a 40,000 square foot retail grocery store, which would serve the residents of the community as well as the surrounding community, whose current option is a Safeway nearly a mile away. Nation Nightclub. Our intention is to keep the existing tenant and to work with them to adapt their strategy to respond to the new urban retail development with a streetscape, possibly a cafe, but daytime uses so that the street becomes activated.
It's concerning me a little bit that I see no development in any phase on the west side of South Capitol.
South Capitol, we see, is this long-term investment. It's something that will take 20 years. As developers coming in on the ground in the next 5 years, we recognize that we want to take advantage of the energy and the activity coming from this district. However, once the investment in South Capitol is made, I think our plan really tries to capture that and focuses on that and builds up, especially this node at M Street and South Capitol, of these iconic cultural facilities.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's great, you guys. It was great. Good luck. Oh my gosh, it was fantastic. It was really good. It feels good. Yay.
We did our best and we hit every point that we wanted to hit, and regardless of whether we win or not, I feel really great about the whole thing.
They tried to challenge us on a couple of interventions. We were bold in our statements and we stuck to our guns because we felt like this embodied the vision.
Well, our vision that's going to take form here is to utilize the X concept to create a southern gateway to and from the Capitol. The X concept replicates L'Enfant's diagonal urban plan structure, integrating the South Capitol corridor and near southeast into a new vibrant Washington, D.C. area. So we have three methods that we're using to achieve this vision. The first one is creating a landmark on this gateway point that's really going to leave a memorable, lasting impression, as well as emphasize the locational advantages and proximity that our site has to the Capitol.
The focus of our design strategies is to create the critical mass that is crucial to sustain the development throughout the development period. Specifically, we have 4 methods, 3 of which relates to what Marvin mentioned before, the creating activities in the nodes. The first one is the crossing gateway, which comprises of the open space, X-axis, as well as a greenhouse, which will complement the historical St. Vincent de Paul Church.
In Text 2, we'll relocate the current commercial and retail use to our mixed development around the metro station, and they will be relocated on the lower level. It will be retail and commercial use. On a higher level of the mixed use, it will be residential apartments. And our targeted tenant will be young professionals, and the residential areas on the higher level will be retail-based, support the retails on the ground level.
The sinking ship. Sinking ship. Kind of like the Titanic. I don't know if you...
Slowly at first, right? And then quickly. The quickly will start at lunchtime.
So we go drown our sorrows.
Once we went up, it was not as nervous.
Wonderful learning experience.
Yeah, and we really tried to explain our ideas to them.
Finally finished, so happy.
A lot of things we never think of, but we have a little bit touched a little bit, but we never think it will be a big issue here.
I'm speechless. I'm just glad it's over. I'm just glad it's over.